about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Around the YouTube, it is Charles here. Today I get to talk about one of my favorite superheroes, Batman. But not Bruce Wayne Batman, but Jace Fox Batman. And then specifically, we're talking about Power Company Recharge from DC Comics. This is a one-shot comic book. It takes place right after the last Black Lightning. This arc, I think it was a six-issue run featuring Black Lightning and his daughters, and I get it because I wanted to see the continuation of that story, and I was pleasantly surprised that when I got to, page 3 or 4, I noticed a very familiar character with his specific armor and cowl, Jace Fox, and he is a lesser known Batman who patrols New York City. When he's contacted here, he's mid fight in Harlem. Uh, if you are not familiar with Jace Fox, I believe he was introduced in the next Batman. I have that graphic novel over here behind me, but that was his introduction to the future, to the DC Universe in Future State, the next Batman, great series. And then after that, there was the I Am Batman series. It ran for around 20 issues or so. It was, I remember being quite an odd number because it went really strong for well over a year. And then they just kind of wrapped it all up. But his character is very complex. Yes, he does come from privilege, but his childhood is more troubled than Bruce Wayne's. And his story is all about redemption and trying to make up for a past wrong he's done in his life. Whereas Batman was, about revenge and trying to keep others, I think, from feeling the pain he went through as a child. Jace is more about trying to make up for something that was completely his fault, but he didn't have to pay a price for. And so I think becoming Batman is his penance in a way. Uh, so I like the character, but when he's contacted by Josiah Power, individual I am not familiar with in DC lore, but he's a well-off person who is putting together this team in Atlanta called the Power Company. You have Black Lightning, his daughters, and who else is involved here? And Vixen, who I haven't read any of her books. I did see her in the DCR. It was a crossover DC did with the RY. I cannot remember it, but it was a like an anime type thing. I will probably find the book and I'll put a picture of it right here so you know what I'm talking about. But that's where I know her from. But essentially, it's the beginnings of this team and Jace Fox being kind of the brooding loner, and the case that they're called to Atlanta for is a serial killer who is part of a group that is anti-metahuman, and he's going after metahumans, and more specifically, he wants to make them suffer. Um, and there are lots of themes that really cross over. One thing that struck me is, as a black man myself, there's lots of language here about discrimination, um, and trying to navigate your way in the world as a metahuman. That was it was pretty obvious that it was more than just them dealing with being metahumans, but in a way speaking on what it's like to be a minority in current day America. And so I like that aspect of it, but it wasn't too heavy handed or preachy, but it was something to get your mind going. And I'm not going to give away too much of it because, like I said, it's a one shot. And the last thing I want to do with this channel is spoil stuff for you, especially when it's this new and you can still get your hands on it. But it is a great way to get to know Jace Fox as Batman. His style, this book, while it is an all-star thing, I would say the middle act is strictly Batman. And so it's a great way to get to know this character. And who knows, maybe if this book sells enough, we will get a Power Company series. This is just a one shot. But check it out at your local comic book store. And if you don't have a local comic book store, check out my friend Jeff at coffeeandacomic.com. They're one of the easiest websites to order comic books from. They have great shipping, nationwide shipping, and great service. The books come very, very fast. You'll see me doing unboxing from them occasionally on this channel on Wednesdays. And if you're in Wyoming, go by to East Ridge Mall in Casper, Wyoming. Check out Spellbound Apothecary and Entertainment, located directly across from Hot Topic. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.